find your silver lining, find your north node, find a way to make this experience worthwhile for you and for the people around you. There's always beauty even in suffering. At least that is my belief about the world, about how life works. I believe there's beauty in everything. I think our biggest issue as a society is that we shun from like suffering. Like we want to run away from it. We want to deny it. We want to like downplay it. We want to minimize it. We want to pretend that we're not suffering, that all of us are happy and we're living great lives and nobody's got any problems. Like it's almost like we're ashamed of being humans, like in a way, which is ridiculous because everybody suffers. Like, name a human being that does not suffer. Hell, babies come into this world and right away they're suffering. Right away. Right away. Like literally the first thing they do when they're born is cry. That's literally what an infant does as soon as they enter this realm. It's not party. It's not laugh. It's cry. So you cannot be afraid to feel feelings, embrace suffering. That's what humans do. That's who humans are. We're here to suffer. Yes, we're also here to enjoy life, but it's not all gonna be yay. Every day's a party. Let's do it. Every day's a party. Let's do it. Like, that's not real life, you know? So let's embrace the suffering and let's find meaning in it. And let's find purpose in it. And let's find healing in it. That should be the goal, at least in my book. Like, be the duck, you know, like gracefully make your way through it. Like, yes, underneath it looks chaotic, but ducks keep moving forward. When you see them swimming on the lake, they look so graceful on top, like, you know, and you're like, oh my God, you're just such a magical being. And like, if you were to have another view from the bottom of the water looking up, it would look like insanity. Because they're like, which is very different from like, you know, like them grazing over the water. Yeah, very different, very, very different viewpoint. So be the duck, you know, be the duck. Keep floating. That's what we're all doing. Nobody has it figured out. Nobody has all the answers. No one died and came back and knows what happens on the other side. There's no evidence of anything. We all are just vibing based on what we know to be true. And that's all there is to it. I'm a Sagittarius and a Capricorn stellium. I'm not lying to you. I would tell you exactly what I think. And it is what it is. You know, life is hard sometimes. It's not always easy. When I was a therapist, I used to always like frown, you know. I used to have opinions or, you know, be a little critical, you could say, of therapists who would have like clients that they've had for like 20 years, you know. I never understood that because my whole thing is this, like, if I'm supposed to be helping you to make the life changes that you need to make so that you can go on with your life, if you're with me for 20 years, I'm not doing a good job. I'm not. You know, like, because the goal is for you to actually acquire the skills that you need to acquire, the information that you need to receive, so you can go out there and rock it out. It's not for you to be codependent. It's not for you to play small. It's not for you to be like an adopted child of mine. That's not the goal. Now, if you want to like see me regularly to work on something, I understand that. But 20 years is a bit extreme to work on whatever is going on. It's either this is as much as we're going to work on it and we've reached a point where that's that and we need to like recognize our limitations, or at this point we're just paying to just like hang out and chat. And I would never be, I was never that kind of therapist, and I will never be that kind of coach. My goal is for you to go rock out. Like, if you have a crisis, come in anytime. We could figure things out. But I don't want you to just, I don't want to waste your time, and I don't want you to waste mine. That's basically that. Like, time is very precious. It's the most important commodity we could ever have. So I value it greatly, especially as a Capricorn stellium. So that is that. That's me in readings. That's how they go. What is a stellium? So a stellium in astrology is when you have 3 or more planets in the same sign or houses. Let's say, as an example, let's take Pluto. So let's say you have a Scorpio Sun, Scorpio Moon, Scorpio Rising, you're already a stellium, Scorpio Mercury, definitely a stellium. When it comes to stellium, some astrologers believe 3 or more makes a stellium. Some believe it needs to be 4 or more. So the same thing also applies to your houses. Some people don't have planets in certain houses and some people do. It's basically like, is there a planet that is overly represented in your chart? If so, what is that planet? Because that planet is going to color the entirety of your experiences. You know, I was talking to you guys earlier about my chart in Vedic astrology. So Pluto is overrepresented in my chart in Vedic astrology, and Saturn is overrepresented in tropical astrology. Either way, I have an abundance of destruction energy, which is like, I'm going to make you see yourself, and you're going to see things that you don't like, and you're going to have to change that. Either that, or I'm going to make you see yourself, and you're going to see things that you don't like. You're going to say that I'm the problem because you don't want to see those things in yourself. You're going to want to run away from me very fast. So either way, when our energies come together, because of the way my energy is set up, I am going to evoke a strong reaction in you. Either way, it's either you're going to feel under pressure automatically to either step up or step down, because I'm not going to leave you in the same state that you met me in, because that is what my energy does. It confronts things that are in you that are not serving you, that are not at your highest, that are not beneficial for you, or that are causing trouble in your own life that you may not even realize, you know. So that's what my energy does. It confronts. That's Pluto. And then Saturn is very critical. You know, Saturn is analyzing. Saturn is observing. It's memorizing. So it's very similar energy. So understanding whether you have a stellium or not is really important, because that's going to color your experiences and it's going to make everything more intense. You know, manifestation is all about energy work. So you have to know what energy you're working with when you're a human being, when you're dealing with people, when you're trying to live. Like, everything is energy, and a good way to feel settled in your own energy or empowered by your own energy is to embrace it. But how do you embrace something you don't know or don't understand? This is why I do what I do, because I want us to understand ourselves better. So that for instance, so that when you go out there, and even though you don't think you're being difficult, if people see you as someone that's like difficult, you know where it's coming from. Or when you go out there, if you don't think you're being mean and people see you as a bully and you happen to have an Aries stellium, you know where it's coming from. So that's kind of what it's about.